420, time to party. Well, that's at least what we said in high school all the time, 420. I heard about these kids out in California who every day they would go out at 420 and enjoy their cannabis, their marijuana. It became a national event where everyone at 420 in the afternoon and on the date of 420 would party. That was then. This is now. I'm more concerned with 614. You never heard of that? I hadn't until recently either. 614 is the day that medical marijuana became legal. June 14th, 2000, 21 years ago, Hawaii legalized medical marijuana. 21 years, it's an adult. I was there in 2000 and I got my card right away. It has helped me medically, medical cannabis, which I believe all cannabis is medical. My sleep issues, my cramps, all caused, of course, by inflammation, which, when I couldn't get it under control, caused severe depression. This product, this plant, has been used for 5,000 years as a medicine. It's in the Bible. It's referred to as cannabism. All over the world, they refer to some variety, some word of cannabis. In 2700 BCE, 2700 years before Jesus was born, cannabis was being used in China, and books were written about its medical use. This symbol shows marijuana hanging and drying. So for 5,000 years, it's been used. What happened just 100 years ago that we lost that medical use? It's my belief that greed and corruption were the main reasons that it was discarded. But the other reason is still alive today: racism. Mexicans were being introduced to United States of America, and people were racist against them for taking on their jobs, such as hoeing the fields that nobody else wanted to do. But more than that, there's been so much racism against the Asian populations. This was just another piece of the racist society. In 1910, they changed the name from cannabis or hemp, how it had been used all over the world. Hemp being the industrial part, making clothing and rope, fibers. Cannabis, medical cannabis, considered the part that would be consumed. Back in 1930, they decided that Anslinger, who had been in charge of alcohol, and of course, prohibition ended by then, he didn't have a job. They put him in to the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, where he feared he wouldn't have enough things to go against. So he included cannabis in that scheduled group. He went into cahoots. There's the corruption part with Hearst, who had acres and acres and thousands of acres of trees. He used that to make the pulp to make his paper for his newspapers. He didn't want to see industrial hemp, which made paper, as his competition. And DuPont had created nylon and Dacron for cloth and for ropes. They didn't want to see hemp be a competition. And so they took all cannabis, medical and industrial, and put it all together and made it illegal. By 1937, just 7 years later, they already knew. The AMA, the American Medical Association, said there's no evidence that marijuana is a dangerous drug. So why in 1937 did they say that type of thing? And it stayed illegal. That corruption and racism was rampant. By 1956, the Narcotics Control Act showed that racism even more. The darker the skin, the longer your prison sentence. I'm a white woman. There's little chance of me being thrown in jail. That doesn't mean I'm not concerned. By 1970, normal began. That was a year before I graduated high school. I was involved then, and I was a member of Normal then. I'm a member now. I love their motto. It's not for everyone, but it's not a crime. We've just recently gotten a Normal chapter here in Hawaii. I'm excited to see what movement we can make in this cause. In 1996, the first state to become legal for medical cannabis was California, which of course now is completely open and legal for every type of marijuana, of cannabis. And Hawaii was the sixth state. We were in the beginning. In 2000, June 14th, that's 6/14, that was when we became legal. 2021 years ago. So why are we still fighting about it? Why are we still having people concerned? All of those old stories from the 30s, people still have them in their head. But we're celebrating. We're celebrating Medical Marijuana Day in Hawaii because we need to speak about it. We need to make sure that our patients, medical marijuana patients, have their say and have their plants. They have their medicine. If you'd like to learn more and join me in a conscious cannabis conversation, I welcome you to contact me. Come out of the dark. Come out of the 1930s and learn all about medical marijuana and 6/14. Mahalo.